Hello and welcome to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas, as the Tigers are here for their second home series in 2 weeks, as they will play the Centenary College Gents. You see the Gents lineup on your screen, running through it quickly. Birkelback will lead things off, followed by Clay Menard, Alex Miller, Noah Paulson, Trip Villanueva, Brody Hebert, Joby Boone, Christian Mikey, and Jebediah Gordon in the 9-hole. And on the mound for the Tigers, it will be Jace Clay. Clay, the first-year left-handed pitcher, making his third consecutive start in Game 1 of a weekend series. And we'll have a little delay as Tigers catcher Matthias Riding will head over towards the dugout. Pitching coach Dave Smith going to meet him halfway. Maybe going over something quickly, maybe an equipment malfunction of some kind with the mask. It looks like Riding has it off right now. And it's looking like it might be the pitch com. Riding walking back, and we're about set to go. See Jace Clay's numbers on your screen. A 3-1 record, a 2.83 ERA, 41 innings pitched and change. And first pitch high, ball one, missing with the fastball as we're underway in San Antonio. The 1-0 finds the zone, strike called. For those of you just joining us, I'm Cole Isaacson, joined alongside my partner Reed Rosales. And Reed, should be an interesting conference matchup. These two teams have seen a lot of each other in prior years. A good take, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, it should be really interesting, Cole. Both sides still striving for the playoffs. The Tigers technically not clinched yet, but they are in probably the best position in the conference. Centenary, they need the series win to stay alive and even have a chance.
Pitch from Clay, 2-2, swing and a miss, and that's strike three. Birkelback goes down swinging, and it's the first strikeout of the night for Jace Clay.
This is what the Tigers are hoping for out of Clay. Trinity's had a couple of rough game ones in the past couple of weeks. They're hoping to get this win in emphatic fashion.
Clay Menard into the batter's box. Takes a strike, a breaking ball in the 70s in terms of miles per hour. Menard, a 241 hitter on the air, an All-SCAC honorable mention last season. Takes a pitch outside, 1-1. Swing and a foul into the screen, and it's 1-2. Of course, these two teams meeting each other quite frequently, both in the regular season and postseason in the SCAC tournament. Trinity being swept last season in Shreveport towards the end of the year. The 1-2 pitch fouled off by Menard, but they met in the SCAC tournament where the Tigers eventually fell to Centenary in walk-off fashion. Menard did not play in that game. Now, Centenary shorthanded in that regard, and were able to get past the top-ranked Tigers at that time without one of their best hitters. Spins out of the way of a ball inside, count 2-2.
It's going to be interesting this year, the SCAC tournament. For the past couple of years, it's been kind of the same group time and time again.
2-2, misses low. Menard backed out of the way, and the count runs full.
With Trinity, Centenary, Southwestern, and TLU usually being your usual suspects, but the new teams in the conference.
This is lofted into left field. Nick Jones under it, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Nick Jones, not your usual left fielder, at least in the past, but making a home out there now.
Yeah, good tracking of the fielding, and you can see right there another very key series going on right now, TLU and McMurray.
Pitch from Clay. Finds the strike zone to arguably Centenary's most dangerous hitter, sophomore Alex Miller. Miller playing at first base today. Grounds one foul down the first base line. Miller, the sophomore from Cypress, Texas, making his 31st start of the season. Second team All-SCAC in 2024, and he was the first year of the year. Had quite the year, hitting over 350, trying to build on that this year. Chopped foul, count still 0-2. Miller, a .325 hitter so far this season. On base percentage over 400. The slugging at .474. The 0-2 to Miller. Lined up the middle, and it's a base hit right above second base. And Alex Miller is the first gent to reach.
And it's what you want to see out of the kid. Get that liner up the middle. That's what's really been damaging the Tigers on the base paths, is not those deep balls, but just those dink and dunk plays that teams can get rallies started off of.
And now the cleanup hitter, Noah Paulson, over a 300 hitter on the year. The OPS at 771, as you can see on your screen. Clay will throw to first, and as we know, Reed, and as people who watch Trinity Tigers games a lot know, that it can be very, very dangerous for anybody on first base.
Yeah, you got to keep your eyes on him. He's got a very sneaky pickoff maneuver.
We'll try it again, and he gets Miller in a rundown. Headed to second, and now he'll have to go back, and the tag will be applied to get out of the inning. We know Jace Clay can be sneaky. Catches Miller leaning the wrong way and ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down as it turns out for the Gents. The Tigers will come up to bat next. A warm welcome back to San Antonio, Texas on the campus of Trinity University, and you see the Trinity Tigers lineup on your screen. Caleb Woodward in center field will lead things off, followed by Maddox McDonald, Nicholas Lazara, it's the designated hitter today. Nick Jones in left field, followed by Will Baker. Kai Tinker at third, Cal Coney at second, Matthias Writing behind the dish, and the 9-hole hitter, the shortstop, John Ramsey. And on the mound for Centenary, arguably their best arm for the last several years, it's Tyler Herrera, the senior, with a 4-2 record and a 2.63 ERA. And you see the strikeouts in terms of the ratio to the walks. 40 strikeouts, 12 walks on the year. He's been quite good for the Gents.
Yeah, he's been really good. Definitely the guy you'd call the ace. I mean, in all of his appearances and all of his starts, he's only had one game where he's allowed more than 2 earned runs.
And he'll face the top of this Tigers lineup in Caleb Woodward, a 305 hitter on the year. Traditionally the leadoff hitter for Trinity. First pitch from Herrera. Pitch outside, ball 1. Caleb Woodward, usually a threat to run when he gets on, but we'll see how the lefty on the mound might neutralize that if Woodward can even get on against this ace pitcher. The 1-0 from Herrera, outside 2-0.
I find the shift interesting from the Gents. They're playing very deep in the infield. Second baseman's on the grass, and the first baseman is standing on the fringe as well.
2-0 pitch to Woodward. Just high, 3-0. So falling behind, you can see, as you were saying, Reed, Centenary clearly not wanting anything to get over their head. We'll see if it matters at all. The 3-0 pitch finds the zone, strike 1.
And now for Herrera, it's just to fight back against Caleb Woodward. He will always take a walk and get on base and do some damage with his legs.
See if he's swinging 3-1. He is, and he lifts one into left field towards the gap, floating over his head, and it's a ground rule double. Or it stays in play. Woodward will hustle back to second, so a double regardless of what it's called. Good start for the Tigers.
Well, see, It looks like that ball does go up and over, so ground rule double should be the correct call.
Well, he's on second regardless, so no need to look into it too much. It'll be a leadoff double regardless of the form it comes in, and an opportunity for Maddox McDonald, the .345 hitter. OPS still over 1,000. McDonald with a scorching start to the year, found himself in a bit of a slump towards the middle, but now seems to be coming out of it a little bit. Pitch from Herrera. Fouled off onto the roof, 1-2, and that was a pretty weak hopper onto the roof of the Bell Center. Those of you who do not watch Tiger Network broadcasts a lot, we are broadcasting from the roof of the Bell Center, and the unique advantage is that we get to see the trajectory and the hops of all the balls that bounce onto the roof right next to us. So we like to count them and keep score. The record is 7, so look out for that. The 0-1, swinging a foul again onto the roof of the Bell Center, but hits an object. Not enough hops.
That's a strong foul. McDonald had a strong series against the Mountaineers. 7 for 12, 2 doubles, a home run, 7 RBI. He really roared back to life in that series.
Trying to tack on an early RBI here. The 0-2 from Herrera. Fouled off into the screen, so 3 consecutive foul balls off the bat of McDonald.
And if the ball does go foul, you want it to be solid contact. And those foul balls onto the roof, especially that one, the second one that went onto the roof, that was pretty solid.
The 0-2 from Herrera. Woodward waiting on second, still nobody out in the first. High ball 1. Reed, you were talking about the series that McDonald had against Schreiner and just what it could mean for Trinity offensively if he can get going. A little bit of an offensive slump right around when he was struggling, and not a coincidence. Ball in the dirt, and it gets away. Woodward thought about heading to third, but McDonald will instead head to first. It's a hit by pitch.
Yeah, Woody was really wanting to go to third there, but has to be called back. McDonald gets on, maybe not in the way he thought he was going to get on. That's got to hurt for Herrera. You're up in the count. Let the guy on a hit by pitch.
So a rough start for Herrera, the leadoff double, and then the hit by pitch. And now the most dangerous bat in this Tigers lineup, Nicholas Lazera, hitting .398 at this point in the year. Gaudy numbers from the usual catcher as he lines one, but hooking foul into the right field bullpen of Centenary.
He was one of those players that had a multi-home run game in Game 2 against Schreiner, a game where the Tigers hit 7 home runs against the Mountaineers. That was the most since 2022.
2 on, nobody out in the bottom of the first. The 0-1, chopped foul, and a quick 0-2 count again. Tough at bat for McDonald. Came right before Lazera. Had McDonald 0-2 on the first 2 pitches, loses him to the hit by pitch, and we'll see how much damage that actually does.
You really want to put away Lazera here because he is such a dangerous bat.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3. The breaking ball gets Lazera, and there's 1 down in the inning.
A really big first out of the game that Herrera can get. You strike out arguably the most dangerous batter in the batting order for the Tigers to get out number 1. You have a double play on the table. You trust your defense, have them turn it. You can get out of this inning with no damage done.
Now another guy who's hitting nearly 400. In fact, he is hitting 400. Nick Jones, who's playing in left field today. An opportunity to give Trinity the early lead. And he swings at the first pitch. Throw to second in time for 1. On to first in time. A double play. So first pitch swinging does not pay off for Nick Jones. It's an inning-ending double play, and exactly what the doctor ordered for Centenary. It's 0-0 as we head to the second. Welcome back to San Antonio. 0-0 game between Centenary and Trinity. First pitch from Clay is a fastball inside for ball one. Clay working against Paulson, who ended the last inning up to the plate. Pitch skips in, count 2-0. Alex Miller picked off at first, so Paulson gets another chance in the batter's box. The 2-0. High, ball three, and a rough start for Clay so far in this inning. Not what you want, potentially walking the leadoff batter. The 3-0. Strike one.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to commit the cardinal sin of the pitcher walking the leadoff guy.
Strike called, 77 into the zone, and it's 3-2.
He's using some off-speed craftsmanship, Cole.
Chopper, foul. Rolls gently over to the Trinity dugout. Definitely one of the lighter hit balls that we've seen make its way over there. Seen some hot shots, some people athletically getting out of the way. The 3-2, in for strike three. The breaking ball catches the inside part of the plate. One down in the second.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch, Cole. Breaking ball in the zone. Paulson knew it. You just got to tip your hat to that.
So Paulson down on strikes, and it's Trip Villanueva up to the plate. Takes a slider, misses low, 1-0. Villanueva from New Braunfels, just up the road. Popped up, foul out of play onto the Bell Center. 1, 2, 3, and it rolls off the roof. Look out below. The 1-1. Misses up, 2-1.
And New Braunfels, nice area. Only been there a handful of times in my time here at Trinity, though.
Chopper to short, fielded by Ramsey, who throws across the diamond in time for out number 2. Ramsey getting his first action at shortstop in a little bit. It's been Cam Chapness out there, but Ramsey getting another shot at it, makes the play there.
Yeah, he fields his position perfectly there, gets the out. And I just love Jace Clay's adaptability and bouncing back after a rough start.
And first pitch goes all the way to the backstop for Brody Hebert. 245 hitter on the year, OPS over 800. 2 up, 2 down so far in this inning. Strike called, 1-1. Big swing and a miss. Count 1-2. Clay trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning. Pitch gets away to the backstop again, but nobody on base, so no harm, no foul. Just a ball, 2-2.
Yeah, go low, then go high. One of those classic strategies that you see from pretty much every pitcher, but it's tried and true.
2-1. Lined, fouled into the screen above the Centenary dugout. Do the 2-2 pitch again. Hebert making his 16th start of the year. 2-2, taken for strike three. Clay knows it. He'll walk off the mound instantly. 2 strikeouts looking for the first year. Jace Clay in this inning will head to the bottom of the frame in San Antonio. Bottom of the second on the campus of Trinity University. No score in this one between Centenary and Trinity. Will Baker set to lead things off for the Tigers, the first-year first baseman. Baker, a .375 hitter, OPS well above 1,000. Getting his first crack at Herrera tonight. Pitch just misses up. Ball 1. Pitch inside, 2-0, an opportunity to run through Centenary's defensive lineup. Starting at catcher, Mikey will be doing the catching. Gordon at third, Boone at short. Menard at second, Alex Miller at first. Villanueva in left, Birkelback in center, and Paulson in right. As Herrera misses, it's 3-0 to Baker.
Baker, another bat that had a multi-home run game in Game 2 against Schreiner. As many home runs as his brother had, and way less starts. So I wonder how that call went.
Strike call down the middle. I don't know how Jack feels about that. Of course, Will Baker, the younger brother of Jack Baker, who just graduated from Trinity last year. 3-1 pitch to Baker. Low ball 4 and a leadoff walk handed out by Herrera.
Like I said, Cole, it's a cardinal sin for a pitcher to walk the leadoff man. We'll see what Baker can do on the base paths. He'll have to rely on Tinker and Coney to advance him.
Now Kai Tinker up to the plate. Tinker, a .313 hitter with 20 RBI on the year. Works with nobody out and Baker at first. And a pickoff move from Herrera. Baker able to walk back safely. You know, I actually challenged Jack Baker, I think it was last year or maybe the year before, because I wanted to make a call. I wanted him to hit 13 home runs in a season, and I wanted to say it was a Baker's dozen. And he just looked at me and he said, yeah, right, dude, I'm not getting the 13 home runs.
It was definitely a lofty proposition.
That's a lofty expectation. That's a big ask, I know.
Look, Brian Schaub hit 16 to break the record as a note of notice.
1-0. Finds the zone, strike 1.
Herrera is ranked top 5 in the conference for ERA at 2.93. He's been outstanding this season. Second in the conference in strikeouts with 50.
The 1-1 misses away, 2-1, and all those great numbers after a down year last year. ERA well above 5. Was not what anybody expected out of him last season after 2 prior years where his ERA was around 3. The first year was actually 1.9. A great first impression for these gents. But now he's taken the mound as a senior, and he's done quite well for himself. Tries to get Baker again to no avail.
I'll give the shout out to the Centenary Sports Information Department for sending us a nice set of notes.
Yeah, something that's not very common around this conference, but definitely appreciate them when we get them. 2-1, fouled off onto the roof of the Bell Center. We'll see. 1, 2, 3, and that will be it. Herrera steps off for a second, now ready to go. Baker takes his lead at first, the 2-2 pitch to Tinker. Misses outside, and the count runs full with nobody out.
We'll see what Tinker can do. The most experienced bat on the team this year for the Tigers. He's been here for my entire time at Trinity, and then some.
The 3-2. Lined sharply but fouled onto the roof of the batting cage. Has got a lot of that one. We'll do the 3-2 pitch again. It was actually told to me when we were doing the Baker brothers anecdote that Kai Tinker was Jack Baker's teammate for the entirety of his career. And now his time running into Will Baker's career. 3-2, not yet. We'll check on first again.
This is Nolan Ryan. He strikes out the father and then strikes out the son later on in his career.
Three-two. Lined into left field. It's a base hit, and it might find the gap. Baker running to third, and he'll get there easily. Tinker into second. Baker being waved home. The throw will be not in time, and it's 1-0 Trinity. Baker scores from first to home, and it's an RBI double for Kai Tinker.
Yeah, a great slash on the breaking ball from Herrera. Tinker puts it in the perfect spot to allow the younger Baker to score. And I think maybe that did just happen. I'm sure he's driven in Jack Baker at some point in his career. So maybe that moment did just happen, Cole.
Maybe we can get some confirmation on that later, a little bit of investigative reporting. See if he has, in fact, driven in both Baker brothers. For now, we'll just say he has, because it's pretty cool. Batter is Cal Coney. Takes strike one. Coney, a .306 hitter on the season, found his way back into the starting lineup after a brief break towards the middle of the year. Trying to extend the Trinity lead, which is now 1-0. Taps it foul, it's 0-2.
Something we'll see a lot in the lineups, Cole, is that the Tigers love to play the matchup. When you get that lefty on the mound, bring the righties out, and vice versa.
The 0-2 pitch to Coney. Tinker taking his lead at second with nobody out, still in the inning. Ball misses way high, 1-2. It seems like they've taken the matchup lineups down to a degree. I mean, we've seen even Caleb Woodward taking a seat every now and then just because there was a lefty on the mound, but it seems they're dialing it back a little bit, but still some platoons that seem effective. The 1-2. Tapped foul again. Coney just getting a piece. For example, Brandon Nelson, a pretty good lefty for the Tigers, on the bench today because of the lefty pitcher. We'll see if Centenary puts a righty later in the game if he makes a pinch hitting appearance. Herrera searching for the first out of the second inning. Has Coney 1-2. Lined into left field. It's a base hit. Finds the gap. Tinker will stop at third, and runners are at the corners with nobody out. It's a single for Cal Coney.
Yeah, just a bit unfortunate for the Gents. Kind of golfs for it. The shift of the Gents maybe costing them that out. Third baseman kind of hugging the line more than you might expect. Lets that ball get through the gap.
So he finds the 5-6 hole and finds his way on first base, and we're going to have an early visit. No outs recorded in the second inning. And if you're Centenary, there's a lot of question marks in the starting rotation after Tyler Herrera. Young guys getting an opportunity. This is a start that you need to go well, especially if you're going to win this series against the top team in the conference.
It's not only that, but if you lose this series, your chances of making any sort of postseason play go down immensely. So the Gents are going to put everything they can to win this series. They have bested the Tigers in the SCAC tournament before. Regular season has kind of yielded mixed results in the past, but this is a series they need to win, or else they might not see themselves over in Round Rock this year.
Trinity went 1-4 against Centenary last year, including a matchup against them in the conference tournament. The batter now is Matthias Riding, a 182 average, but he has an opportunity with runners at first and third, nobody out. Riding doing the catching today and a pickoff maneuver. Coney will dive back safely. Tigers haven't really tried to run on Herrera yet, being a lefty. See if they change that approach here. Riding hits this one into right field. The catch is made, but tagging from third is Tinker, and he will score without a problem. Coney, caught in a little bit of a rundown, will slide in, but he's out. Not too sure what happened there on the base paths with Cal Coney, but the run scores, and it's 2-0 Tigers on the sac fly.
I thought he caught it out in right field, but he drops it. I thought he dropped it on the transition, but the umpires call it a fair ball. So Riding will head to first, and Coney's kind of out of luck there because I think everybody thought that was a catch out in right field.
Yeah, I did too, but guess not. That's the ruling. Ends up being a bit of a wash, as Writing would have been out anyways. Coney would have been at first. So just switching the base runner.
Agree with that, Josh? I thought that was a catch.
But hey, it's a free knock for Matthias Writing. He's going to take that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what you want out of this bottom part of the order. A lot of your defensive players that when they get a hit, it's a bit of a bonus.
See if we get that here with John Ramsey making the start at short today. Ramsey, a 175 hitter on the season. First pitch, breaking ball taken for strike one. Herrera has managed to get the first out of the inning. Technically, all four Tigers have reached that have come up to the plate in this inning. It started with a Baker leadoff walk. Tinker with a double and back-to-back singles from Coney and Writing. Pitch misses 1-1 to Ramsey.
And we talk about the Tigers not stealing much on Herrera yet. I'd be shocked if they sent Matthias Writing. Definitely not known for being a prolific base stealer.
One's on the board, 1-1 count, one down in the inning. And the pitch misses away. Mikey has to slide to his right in order to reel that in, 2-1.
And this is a Centenary team coming in with a bit of momentum. They got a huge sweep against Southwestern. A sweep that if they do make the playoffs, that will be the turning point for their season.
2-1 pitch, not yet. That time a better pickoff attempt, definitely closer, but Writing able to dive back safely. And you talk about that momentum. It's been pretty up and down for Centenary this year. Talking to Coach Mike Diaz, he just said they're very inconsistent this year. So we'll see if any momentum can come out of it, but at least so far his experience with this team so far this year has just been when it's up, it's down after. Centenary trying to avoid that, and they're going to need to if they can be in the top four in the standings of the SCAC and get into the tournament. 2-1, misses high, 3-1 as Herrera seems to be struggling in this inning. The only out recorded on the base paths. All four Tigers that have come up to the plate in this inning have reached. Ramsey trying to continue that trend. The 3-1 is fouled into the screen, and it'll be 3-2.
That's a good fight back for Herrera. Getting Ramsey in this full count situation. Again, you have a double play potentiality on the board.
Herrera has already forced one double play and got him out of the first inning. See if one can get him out of the second. The 3-2. Ball four, misses outside with the breaking ball, and Writing takes his trip to first base. Second walk allowed in this inning.
Right now it is worst case scenario right now for Centenary. You really need Herrera to tighten things up and get the next two outs, or else the Tigers could threaten to score a bit too many runs.
And he'll face the top of this lineup, and Caleb Woodward 1-for-1 with a double today. Pitch misses inside, ball one to Woodward. Coach Diaz telling me that Herrera was excited to make his final start against Trinity. He started against them in all 4 years of his collegiate career now. The 1-1 misses low, 2-0, and some mixed results, at least for Centenary. I remember covering the game when he came here 2 years ago, was having a stellar season in his sophomore year. But Trinity seemed to get to him. They wound up sweeping that series, but then, like I said a little earlier, Centenary 4-1 against the Tigers last year, and Herrera had a hand in that. The 2-0. High, ball three, and in danger of walking the bases loaded with still only one out in the inning.
Yeah, it was interesting last year because they played Centenary in a non-conference game when they had that little try thing of UTD, Centenary, and Trinity here in San Antonio.
3-0. Fastball down the chute, strike one, and the at-bat will continue.
Got a batter's count for Caleb Woodward. Again, that shift being put on by the Gents, where they have first base and second base playing pretty deep in the infield.
Chopper foul down the first base line, and the count is now full.
But they're waiting for a play like that to jump on. Because if they let any ball go into the outfield, you got to think that Reading will have a chance to score unless the ball is hit particularly hard.
Countdown count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Check swing foul, and it skips into the screen. That was an unusual one. His bat was almost parallel with the path of the pitch, just skips off the end of it. So we'll do the 3-2 pitch again. This is a big at-bat for Herrera and Centenary. Trinity has already scored 2 in the inning. Runners at first and second, 1 down. That is ball 4, and it was close. It will load the bases for the Tigers.
Yeah, close call, Cole. And Herrera is definitely not getting any of the benefits. I think a great idea by Herrera. Just unfortunately can't catch that part of the zone. Umpire doesn't give it to him.
And that will be his day in the second inning. A pitching change from San Antonio. Tigers up 2-0, looking for more. Bases loaded when we come back.
Just set it on the mission.
Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Bases loaded here at 1 Trinity Place, and Trayshawn Martin will try and get the Gents out of it. Comes in 16 innings pitched, a 5.63 ERA. His last appearance, 1.2 innings pitched against Southwestern, allowed 5 earned runs, but he had just pitched the day before. 2 innings, 1 hit, no earned runs. So we'll see what version of him we get here in game 1. He has to deal with one of Trinity's best hitters, and Maddox McDonald, a 345 average. Ducks out of the way of the first pitch, ball 1. McDonald, a hit by pitch in his only at bat today in the first inning. Comes up to the plate for the second time in this one. The Tigers up 2-0. Pitch from Martin is lifted into the air, shallow right field. Calling and making the catch is Paulson, and that will not be deep enough for anybody to tag. A good result on that first at bat.
It won't be deep enough, and it won't be dropped. So no traffic on the base paths this time. Or dropped, quote unquote. Still kind of left unsatisfied about of the drop call. And I give Paulson more credit than the umpire gave him.
Now Nicholas Lazera comes up to the plate, struck out and is only at bat so far today. Now comes up with the bases loaded, a chance to blow it open early for Trinity. Put a crooked number on the board. First pitch, a fastball, misses outside, ball one. Yeah, I know what ruling Paulson would have preferred in right field, whether he dropped it or not, but I don't know what Riding would have preferred, the RBI or the base hit. I don't know. It's an interesting decision. 1-0 pitch to Lazera. Outside, 2-0. And a friendly hitter's count coming up for Lazera.
You see the switch hitter in action. First time he came up, he batted as a righty. Now, righty on the mound, so he comes up as a lefty, where he's more comfortable.
The 2-0. Grounded into the hole in right. One run comes in, another will follow. It's a 2 RBI single for Nick Lazera, and it's 4-0.
Yeah, great chopper. Gets it into the hole. An excellent effort from Clay Menard out there. Nearly got to it, but Lazera, he's got more RBI to himself. He got the gabagool again.
Nick Jones coming up to the plate as Matthias Riding and John Ramsey come around on the Nicholas Lazera single. It's now 4-0 Tigers. Jones, the 9th batter to come up to the plate, and he drives one into center field. It's a base hit. Woodward will score. Lazera rounding second. He heads for third. Throw goes to second, offline, and it's a 2-out RBI double for Nick Jones.
This is a great spark for this offense, Cole. Kind of runs in on him a little bit, but he muscles it out into that gap. And this is a spark of offense that this team has been looking for in these Game 1 situations for the past couple of weeks, and it's right now paying dividends.
And all 3 of those runs will be charged to Tyler Herrera. 2 down in the inning. Strike called on Baker. Will Baker walked to begin this inning. He's the 10th batter to come up to the plate for the Tigers. Working with runners on second and third, already up 5, opportunity for more. Pitch misses. So the count 1-1, 2 down in the inning. The line now closed on Herrera. He goes 1.1 innings and allows 5 earned runs. Lines through the hole into left. Lazera will score. Jones being waved around. He hustles home, and it's 7-0 Tigers. A 2 RBI single for Will Baker. Trinity has blown it open.
Well, they got the touchdown and the extra point, Cole. The scoreboard's going a little crazy right now out in left field. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but it's just been a hit parade in the bottom of the second inning. And they have full intention to keep it going.
Kai Tinker coming up to the plate, and we got confirmation from our theory earlier in this very same inning. Kai Tinker has driven in Jack Baker, so he's driven in both Baker brothers. The younger one dives back safely to first off the pickoff attempt. Tigers up 7-0, and this kind of came out of nowhere, the offensive explosion in game 2, but beyond that against Schreiner, it was a bit of a struggle. Strike called on the slider. 2 close games. The first one they lose almost inexplicably against the Mountaineers, and then they take game 3. It was a very close, intense game all the way through, but the offense struggled to get going at points. Now they bust it all open for Centenary, and they find themselves up 7-0 in the second inning.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of a wake-up series for the Bats, because the pitching did well for the Tigers, but it was a struggle on offense.
The 1-1 fouled into the screen, and it's 1-2. Centenary trying to get out of this inning. The damage has already been done and then some. Tigers had the bases loaded in the pitching change. All of those batters coming around to score, and then 2 more on top of it. The 1-1. Ground ball up the middle, and of course for Centenary it gets through as the nightmare inning just continues. 2-out knock for Kai Tinker.
I love that from Kai Tinker. Just classic small ball, put it up the middle. Who needs to hit the ball deep when you can just keep getting those base knocks, keep the runners coming in? A great approach.
So Trayshawn Martin trying to get Centenary out of this inning. He'll face Cal Coney. 1 for 1 so far today, a base hit in this very same inning. Breaking ball misses away. A nice block by Mikey behind the dish. Count 1-0. Outside 2-0.
And I think what's interesting, Cole, is this has been like the first game, maybe ever since we've been up here this season, that has had pretty much no wind up here on the roof.
You better have not just jinxed that. I'm going to be a little mad at you later in the innings if you did. Breaking ball finds the zone, 2-1. For those of you unfamiliar with our setup or weren't here earlier in the game when I somewhat explained it, we don't have a press box up here. We're just broadcasting from the roof of the Bell Center. So we are very exposed to any conditions. And if Reed just brought them on, me and my papers are not going to be happy with that. The 2-1, big swing and a miss from Coney. Trying to get the one thing we haven't seen from Trinity offensively in this inning, and that's a ball over the fence. Kind of the opposite of what we saw from Game 2 in the Shriner series, where they put up 15 in a run rule. A lot of small ball, base hits and doubles. Here's a chopper. Past the glove of the pitcher. The sidearm throw gets away. And everybody will be content where they are. An error gets Coney on board.
Yeah, right when the ball went to that location, I thought that's going to be a tough play. The flip, really good cover by Martin. The flip over missed the first baseman, and Martin was there to catch it. It didn't even hit the ground. So, Nostradamus on the mound.
So you would assume that's going to be an E4 as Matthias Riding will come up to the plate with the bases loaded. Riding 1 for 1 with a supposed base hit. Slider finds the zone, strike 1. As the struggle has continued for Trayshawn Martin, not getting any help from his defense on that last play. Trying to give Centenary some length, you would assume, with Herrera being knocked out this early, as Riding drives this back to right field, and the catch is made at the warning track, but not before the damage is done. 7-0 Trinity. All runs coming to score in this frame. Tigers have blown it open, top of the third when we come back. Welcome back to South Texas on the campus of Trinity University in a completely different game from when the bottom part of the second inning started. 7-0 Tigers. First pitch from Clay to Joby Boone is popped up. Coney ranges back into right field, but he'll be waved off. McDonald makes the catch. It was a close call, but the job got done. One down.
Job got done. I think a couple of orders barked from the dugout over maybe a near collision between Coney and McDonald. Maybe a little better communication on who's going to get that ball.
Christian Mikey now up to the plate, the catcher. Batting under 150, an opportunity to raise that, and Centenary is going to need it if they want to come back in this game. Already pretty out of hand, but plenty of baseball to be played. Fastball catches the edge of the zone, strike called. Clay working against the bottom part of the Centenary lineup. He has only allowed one hit. Big swing and a miss, 1-2.
This is a Centenary program that has had some success in the past couple seasons.
Pitch gets away, but nobody on base to take advantage of it. Count 2-2.
They had to go through a lot to win the SCAC tournament last year. They came out of the loser's bracket to win it. Had to be a really tough TLU team twice.
Strike three called. Mikey goes down looking. The fourth strikeout of the day for Jace Clay, the third looking.
Yeah, Jace Clay right now, he's just in a groove. He has looked unstoppable ever since he kind of had that rough start of the top of the second.
Fastball misses inside to the 9-hole hitter Gordon. Jebediah Gordon, the first year from Spring, Texas, a .333 hitter. Takes a strike again. It's 0-2. Gordon making his 10th start of the season. Clay working quickly, 2 down in the inning. Pitch just misses.
It's a new role for Clay, being that game 1 starter. Saw in the past he was usually game 3.
Inside. A little close for comfort, I'm sure, for Gordon, but gets out of the way.
There's a bit of oddities in how the schedule for the Tigers has played out this year.
Strike called down the middle. Count runs full. (3-2). Misses ball 4, and the first walk allowed by Jace Clay in his outing. Talked about some of the oddities in the schedule. It was really, it all started with a weather delay against TLU. Those games got pushed back to Monday of all days, and Clay technically came out in relief. It was an opener, Andrew Mason, and Clay followed him up with 7 really shutdown innings. Tigers find themselves down pretty early in that one. Clay kept them in it, and Tigers able to come back and win that game in an eventual sweep of TLU. And Clay hasn't relinquished a starting role since then. He's been arguably the Tigers' best pitcher all year. Throw to first, not in time, as we've already seen how effective that pickoff maneuver can be. That's arguably more interesting than the at-bat when there's a runner on first. Clay working against Birkelback. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Thinks about bunting, but pulls it back. Pitch out of the zone.
I've never seen a first base runner be so close to first base goal. Basically no lead.
Slider misses 2-0, and Clay almost the great equalizer for what Centenary wants to do. The Gents, their batting average not where they want it to be, .261, but they steal bases, 57 on the year. Strike call, the fastball, count 2-1. Talking to Coach Diaz about it, he said, if we're only hitting .260, you got to get them over and on somehow. And the best way to do that is to run them, and he's always said he works with a historically aggressive offense. Strike called, count even at 2-2. But with Clay and how effective his pickoff maneuver is, a lot of that aggression from Centenary you would think neutralized. 2-2. We'll see what Clay does. Fouled off sharply into the screen, and we'll do it again.
And you got to think they came in really hoping they could steal some bags after UMHB came in here and stole pretty much every base on the field multiple times.
Two, runner goes, but fouled sharply just above the Tiger dugout. Some heads ducking over there along the wall, understandably. Burkle back, working a solid at-bat, and the 2-2 count. We'll see if they send Gordon again. Throw to first, this time very lightly, and Gordon will take 2 steps back to the bag safely.
Gordon, for every time the ball is thrown, he's kind of taking a step in, other than the one time he got sent.
Check swing, and it gets away. Throw to second will not be in time. Looked like that ball nicked off something. Must have been Matthias Writing. Thought it was the bat for a second. It would be a foul ball. It's not. Goes down as a wild pitch, and Gordon finds himself at second base. Clay gets a new baseball. Now in a 3-2 count, 2 down in the inning. Pitch to Burkleback. Swing and a miss, that's strike 3. This time it's swinging. And Jace Clay works a scoreless third. We'll head to the bottom of the frame in San Antonio. Tigers up a touchdown in baseball. Welcome back to the Alamo City. A new pitcher in for Centenary. It's Hayden Doyle. Comes in with an ERA above 10, a whip over 3, an opportunity to lower all those numbers in this outing. So face John Ramsey. First pitch is high, ball 1. Ramsey worked a walk in his only plate appearance in this game. Part of a 7-run inning as he came around to score. Big swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1-1. The big thing for Doyle, you would think, in this outing is he's looking for his first strikeout. You saw on your screen 10 walks, no strikeouts. Trying to find one here. Some nice break to that pitch, but it misses in the dirt. 2-1.
And that's such a fickle moment in the season too, when you're kind of teetering on that edge of being eliminated from making the SCAC tournament. You got to hope one of these pitchers can get some outs.
Pitch high, 3-1. You almost wonder if you're Centenary. Do you just phone it in for this one and go all in for the next two? It's a tough situation for the Gents regardless. The count is 3-1 to Ramsey. High ball 4, and it's a leadoff walk, and you wonder if that will be a trend that continues in this inning or not.
And especially when you can have your 9-hole bat walk on the leadoff and bring up the guy you usually have starting leadoff for the game come up and not have him working with an out on the board. And it's just really helpful.
Caleb Woodward, 1 for 1. Has a double. He's also walked in his other plate appearance, this being his third of the game in the third inning. Thinks about bunting, pulls it back for ball 1. Caleb Woodward's walk-up song, California Dreamin', that's where he's from. San Pedro, California, though he pronounces it San Pedro. So, point of controversy for people in the discussion group. This is a ground ball, could be a double play. Instead, it's muffed. Menard had it in his sights, couldn't reel it in, and everybody's safe.
Unfortunate, Cole. That's all you can really say about a play like that. But Menard just can't glove it. It's as simple as that. Definitely potential to get the out at second, maybe turn 2, but with Woodward's speed, that would have been a bit difficult. Still, yeah, hate to see that.
Brings up Maddox McDonald, 0 for 1 today with a fly out to right. He was also hit by a pitch. Works with runners on first and second, nobody out. Fastball high, 1-0. Point of clarification from earlier in this game. The ground ball from Coney that was hit to Menard was ruled a single. So that was not an error on Menard, but that one will be. As we'll have a quick chat for everybody on base and the batter Maddox McDonald with head coach / third base coach Tim Scannell. While they're doing that, we can talk about some of the scores in the SCAC. I believe it's McMurray ahead 7-3 on TLU. That's an important one in terms of who's going to make the conference tournament. Score update now 7-4.
Yeah, that's a big series. Another big series going on in Clarksville, Arkansas. At St. Thomas playing Ozarks. They won game 1 earlier in the day, but they're losing the second end of that doubleheader 5-1.
The 1-0 pitch to McDonald gets down a bunt, but it skips foul, and he'll have to do it again. Should correct myself on that last scoring. I believe I said McMurray was up. It's actually TLU up 7-4 in Seguin. And then the shocker of the day, Southwestern down in the bottom of the 7th, 3-0 to Austin College. Not what you would expect. Southwestern in a bad spot after being swept by Centenary, another team that's made the conference tournament these last 2 years. McDonald gets out of the way of a fastball inside. Count 2-1, runners on first and second, nobody out in the bottom of the 3rd in a 7-0 game. Ball high, 3-1. And Doyle in danger of loading the bases with nobody out. You mentioned that other score in Arkansas, Ozarks up 5-1. Another shocker, St. Thomas playing surprisingly well to this point in the season. That'll be Trinity's next stop as they'll be in Houston next weekend. This is a ground ball right up the middle, and it'll be a base hit. Ramsey being waved around. He will score. Woodward in safely. Throw to second, not in time to get McDonald. And it should be an RBI single for McDonald, advancing to second on the throw.
Yeah, and I think maybe not the best decision from Berkelback to throw to third. I think a throw to second might have been a bit more ideal to keep the runners at the corners, but it's the decision he made, and now the Tigers have runners on second and third.
The run scores, and it's now 8-0, and another mound visit. This becoming a theme from head coach Mike Diaz. Will it be a chat or will it be a change? And it will be a change. A new pitcher coming in for Centenary. He'll have to deal with runners on second and third. Nobody out. This is an 8-0 game here at Trinity University. Welcome back to San Antonio. We're here for the bottom of the third inning. New pitcher in for Centenary. It's Zach Baker, the first year from Mission Viejo, California. Fires a fastball high, ball one, as he faces Nicholas Lazera. 1 for 2 today, a 400 hitter on the year. Lazera having quite the season. Hit 360 last year, and we thought that was really good. And taking it a step up in his senior campaign. Pitch in the dirt, and it gets away. That will be the 9th run of the day for Trinity as Woodward comes home to score.
Yeah, just a self-inflicted mistake. I found the shift interesting that they have for Lazera, where Miller is playing pretty far in. Maybe waiting for a bunt down the first base line. It's an interesting shift.
So Lazera in a bit of a different situation, just the runner on third. Big swing and a miss and a 2-0 count, makes it 2-1. Tigers now up 9-0, and you know, they haven't scored any runs either, but Centenary, the pitching has really done them in tonight. That one misses in the dirt, breaking ball. Count 3-1, and the pitching hasn't been great for them overall in the year, but it hasn't been necessarily the reason they've been losing. ERA's 4th in the conference, hits per 9, 2nd. The whip is 3rd. 3-1 is driven into left field, but foul onto the top of the batting cages. That had a lot of exit velocity on it.
Yeah, it's always scary when you hit one out into left. That short porch, 310 down the left field line.
Full count pitch finds the zone, strike 3, and Lazera strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 1 down in the inning.
Lazera was convinced he had the walk drawn. Not so fast, says the home plate umpire. Catches him at the knees.
69 finds the zone. Lazera's team's up 9-0. I think he'll get over it. Nick Jones comes up to the plate. Now a 404 hitter on the year, 1 for 2. In today's game, home plate umpire saying he went around on that pitch. Now 0-1. Jones grounded into a 5-6-3 double play in his first at-bat, but then followed it up with an RBI double in the second. Big swing and a miss. Just fouled it off, and it's 0-2.
Jones did something amazing at Dallas. One of my favorite things. He didn't have a pedestrian day. He had a jaywalker day.
Oh, man, I know you get excited about those.
4 walks in a game.
Pitch in the dirt, and Mikey able to find it. There have also been a host of defensive changes for Centenary. We'll run through those as we get confirmation on who's where. There were a lot of them, a lot of people going on and off, almost like a hockey line change, so we'll work through it and get them to you all at once. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt. Count now 2-2. Another note on Nick Jones is that he missed a good chunk of March due to a knee injury he had. It was at Concordia. He made a catch along the wall, but jammed his knee into it and had a lot of swelling for about a month. Didn't have full range of motion. 2-2 is chopped to third. They'll throw home to cut down the run, and they do so in time for out number 2. But Nick Jones is still safe, so I'll keep talking about him.
That was absolutely the correct decision to throw to home there. Great decision by Gordon at third. Just to prevent a run. It's not in run rule territory quite yet. It's good to see the Gents keep up the fight, even though they are down by 9.
But Nick Jones came back against the University of Dallas as he gets back to first. Had some kind of operation done on his knee to get rid of some of the fluid that was in there, swelling it up. Not a good situation, but he's back. He's playing left field. And he came back with a vengeance, multi-hit games in 2 of the 3 games in that Dallas series. He had hits in 5 of 6 games since returning and has a hit tonight as well, so make it 6 of 7. It was a Tigers team that started off hot, 13-1. A good portion of that was with Nick Jones in the lineup. He's an important player for them. Pitch finds the zone, strike called on Will Baker.
Yeah, when he got that jaywalker, 4 walks in a game, he joined an illustrious club in the record books. That is the single game record. No one has drawn 5 walks in a game.
Breaking ball just misses.
Legendary crossing guard, if you will.
Will Baker 1 for 1 today, a 388 hitter on the year, and he's in the Baker-Baker matchup. Breaking ball misses outside, 3-1. Zach Baker versus Will Baker, and then we also talked about Jack Baker. Talked about wanting to get to the Baker's dozen. We might just do it with people named Baker in this matchup. 3-1. Swing and a miss, and it's 3-2. I don't know how many other Bakers I can think of, though, other than people that have that profession.
I'm not sure. I think this AB might be put on an episode of Kitchen Confidential, though.
Might be a pretty exclusive club. We just might be at the epicenter. This is the hot spot. The 3-2 from Baker. Baker fouls it off.
It'd be funny if they both were actually good bakers as well.
That'd be interesting. That should be almost a requirement, I think. If your name is Baker, you better be able to do it. 3-2. Inside, ball 4, and a 2-out walk. Baked up by Baker.
They let Baker cook, and he delivered the goods. Unfortunately, Baker burned the oven on that one, and by allowing that walk, it's going to be a tough day in the kitchen. They'll probably hear from Gordon Ramsay both.
Yeah, don't want to be the idiot sandwich. Will Baker has reached safely all 3 times now. 2 walks and a base hit. Now Kai Tinker up. Tinker lines this one deep to right field, back at the wall, and the catch is made. So Noah Paulson's had enough. He ends the inning with a nice running catch. So the Tigers leave 2 stranded, but they also bring 2 in. It's 9-0 Trinity as we head to the 4th in San Antonio. Welcome back to One Trinity Place in San Antonio, Texas. Menard will lead things off for the Gents. Takes ball 1 from Jace Clay. The line score still up on the screen, and you can see how far we've come as we're into the 4th inning. No zeros on the board yet. Strike called. 1-1, a fastball from Clay. Menard 0 for 1. Flew out to left. Takes a ball. We had the Baker-Baker matchup. Now we have the Clay-Clay matchup. Clay Menard versus Jace Clay. Pitch misses 3-1. You wonder what this matchup will mold into.
You know, bakers and clay makers, they both use ovens.
They do. A kiln, I believe, is what it's called. 3-1 outside, ball 4. And the batter, whose first name is Clay, gets the better of Jace Clay.
Yeah, he gets first dibs of the Clay. Usually, that is the better version of Clay, as I learned in art class years and years ago.
Alex Miller coming up to the plate, 1 for 1. has the only hit of the day for Centenary. Runner in motion, but a foul ball, and Menard will have to go back. It's weird to keep this all straight in my head. Centenary only in their second time through the order. Trinity in their third. The 0-1 pitch to Miller from Clay. It's a pretty good lead when you're facing Jace Clay. Gets back safely, but barely. Clay Menard, he's pushing into some uncharted territory. He would be a standard lead for, I would say, when you're facing other pitchers, but not this one. Tigers up 9-0. Jace Clay trying to protect that lead. Menard on first, nobody out in the inning. Alex Miller at the plate, and he bloops one foul out of play onto the roof of the Bell Center. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's dribbling. Haven't seen anything close to 7 recently.
It's a good 4-bouncer, though.
That was a good 4-bouncer. Maybe 5, a small one at the end. Could see it. The 0-2 throw the first, and Menard will have to dive back safely.
Almost as if Menard is trying to bait a throw over, a wild throw over, so he can advance for free.
Try again, and he almost got it that time. Baker had to dig that out.
It's not a bad idea. If you know you can get back in time, just have him keep throwing over there. Eventually, he's got to miss one, statistically speaking.
Does he do, though? That's the question. The 0-2 way outside, and there's your free base. Gets all the way to the backstop and bounces away from righting. So Menard does get to second, but maybe not in the way he was expecting.
I didn't miss the pickoff attempt. He missed the pitch to the batter.
First ball thrown in the at-bat. It's 1-2. Get rid of that baseball. It didn't work. He'll get a new one. Pitch to Miller. Runner on second is Menard. Blooped into center field. Woodward running in hard and gets it in time for out number 1.
Yeah, it could have maybe been dangerous if it was blooped a little shallower into center, but with Woodward's speed, he can cover a lot of ground. Oh, there's a can of corn for him.
Now Noah Paulson up to the plate. Paulson in right field today. Takes strike 1. 0 for 1, still a 300 hitter on the year, and Paulson's path a little interesting. Didn't play in the first 5 games of the season, but then caught fire when he was inserted into the lineup. Strike called 0-2. He's recorded a hit in 13 of his last 15 games now and just had a 7-game hitting streak snapped against Southwestern. 0-2 pitch. Chopper to third. Tinker looks the runner back, throws to first in time, and there's 2 away.
Good awareness by Tinker. Looked that runner back. Yeah, he fields his position perfectly there. He is a trusty fielder at third base.
So the runner still on second in Menard. Trinity trying to keep this 0 on the board. Strike called. Centenary looking for answers against Jace Clay. Big swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Trip Villanueva in the batter's box, 0-2. And it hit him, and that looks like it hurt. Some good contact, but he's not showing any pain. He'll take his trip to first.
That was a pretty hefty plunk. We'll see exactly where it hit him. Good thing it hit him on that ankle guard, or else that was gonna hurt quite a bit. I mean, it still hurts, but
those that definitely sounded bad. First pitch from Clay misses low to Brody Abear. 0 for 1 today, a 240 hitter on the season, OPS above 800. Strike called.
That's something that Clay hasn't seen in a couple innings is traffic on the base paths, runner in scoring position.
Swung on and fouled towards the backstop. It's 1-2.
Did a good job of bouncing back. Last time he had a bit of trouble. See if he can get out of the inning with no damage done.
Hebert, the designated hitter, in a 1-2 count. Runners on first and second. Pitch away, 2-2.
He was trying to pull the move he did last time where he had a breaking ball break into the zone and catch him looking.
Just misses. And the count runs full. That means everybody will be off and running with this pitch. Runners on first and second. They'll be in motion, and there they go. Pitch misses inside, ball 4. And a walk will load the bases in the 4th. And pitching coach Dave Smith will come out for the first time today. Quick visit with the bases loaded.
This is a classic moment for pitching coach Dave Smith to come out. You usually see it in these situations where it starts going well, then you reach the struggle point. He's got quite a way with words when he gets to the mound. I mean, when you're the Tigers, you have a really big lead at this point. You don't want to surrender any runs. And when you have 2 outs, you have force outs every base. We'll see how the speech from pitching coach Dave Smith inspires Jace Clay.
We always talk about that first pitch strike after the meeting. It seems to happen pretty often. We'll see if one can come from Clay here. First pitch. Misses, ball 1. Aaron Gillum, the pinch hitter here, came in defensively in the prior inning for Centenary. Now gets his first at bat, and it's with the bases loaded. The 1-0. Inside 2-0. So not only does Clay not get the first pitch strike after the visit with Dave Smith, can't get the second one either. Strike called, inside edge, 82 on that one.
Yeah, and the pitch count a bit high for Clay at this point of the game. He's worked some quick innings, but the trouble spots have been especially troublesome.
The chopper to Tinker, steps on the bag at third, gets the force, and Clay gets out of the inning. No damage done with the bases loaded. We'll head to the bottom of the frame. Tigers up to bat when we come back on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City on the campus of Trinity University, where the Tigers have the 9-0 lead over Centenary. Cal Coney will lead things off and take strike one. Coney 2 for 2 today, a .328 hitter now on the air. Some defensive changes that happened in the prior inning to run through with you. Aaron Gillum takes over at third base. Pitch misses outside. Count 1-1 to Coney. Gordon moving to, shortstop from third base. Pitch in the dirt, 2-1. And Birkelback taken out of this one at center field. Replacing him is Gage Morris. And as far as we know, those are the only defensive changes that have taken place. Pitch away, 3-1. Very similar to what we see from Trinity when they're losing in pretty lopsided manner. Coach Scannell usually pull the plug on a bunch of guys at once, and Coach Diaz doing it this time. 3-1 pitch, fouled off the end of the bat of Coney, brings the count full.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough time to be in the dugout when the entire line change is made, no matter what team you're on. It kind of signifies how poor things are going.
Swing and a miss. That's strike three, and that is the first strikeout of the season for Hayden Doyle. Gets the job done. The leadoff man out, one down.
Well, that's what you need right now if you're Zach Baker. Get the strikeout. That's all you need. Get these outs.
Matthias Riding now up to the plate. Pitch inside, strike one. Outside, now 1-1, 74 miles per hour on that one. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I am. This is Zach Baker's first career appearance, so that was also his first strikeout. So either way, I'm feeling pretty good about that one. Tapped foul. No, it's not. It's fair. Good play by Mikey. Picks it up and throws it in time for out number one. Unfortunate for Matthias Riding off the end of the bat.
That was very unfortunate. You can see Matthias just by the reaction of, man, I think maybe Coach Scannell asking if it was foul or not. But tough spot for Matthias Riding to be in.
Well, stays fair, doesn't go more than 2 feet. And the 2-3 put out to get Riding. The first two Tigers sent down in order. Brings up John Ramsey. Walked in both of his plate appearances. And we'll see the replay from Riding. Looks fine. The 1-0. Pitch outside, now 2-0. Actually heard Matthias Riding talking about another weird thing that he was involved with last year, and it was that end of the game against UTD where there was called batter's interference when he threw the ball, but he tried to pull it back because he knew he had no shot of getting the runner going to second. Ended up throwing it straight into the dirt. It was called batter's interference because he let go of the baseball. Definitely one of the weirder things we've seen at this ballpark. And now Riding involved in another one. That one went his way. This one does not.
Any idea what that
2-1 pitch. Baker against Ramsey. Fouled back, 2-2.
The umpire made some sort of signal earlier. I'm not really sure what that signal was. It's always a fun mystery when signals that we don't recognize come into play.
Didn't seem like anything happened. We played on. 2-2 pitch to Ramsey. Breaking ball missing into the dirt. 3-2 with 2 down. Ramsey trying to reach safely for the third time. And as we well know, Reed Rosales has interest in how he might do it. He's already walked twice for the third. The 3-2 in the dirt. That is ball 4. 3 walks for John Ramsey.
Quite a pedestrian day. He's been walking a lot. It's my favorite thing, Cole. I love patient at-bats. 3 walks in a game. I hope he can go for the jaywalker. 4 walks in a game. Maybe the crossing guard, 5. Maybe I'm being a bit too optimistic. I love it.
Well, former jaywalker himself coming up to the plate, Caleb Woodward, who's had a 4-walk game this season. 2 down. Tried to get 3 on that one, but Ramsey dives back safely. Caleb Woodward, 1 for 2 today. He's reached safely all 3 times. A double, a walk, and an error. 7 ways to get on. He's got 3 of them.
Maybe we'll go for the bingo blackout.
The 1-0. In the dirt, 2-0. So it was a quick start to the inning for Baker on the mound, but 2-out walk allowed to John Ramsey, and now behind 2-0 to the leadoff man, Caleb Woodward. We'll see when Tim Scannell pulls the plug on some of these guys up as much as they are. We know that they will eventually. Woodward golfs this one out of play towards the parking lot and foul.
Gotta watch out if you're at the Centenary bus parked over on Kings Court.
It was close.
We had a baseball shatter a windshield out in the parking lot.
I don't know if that driver was reading a book or not, but might have gotten a little scare out of that one. Don't think he signed up for flying objects. Pitch catches the edge of the strike zone. Count even at 2 apiece. Deuces are wild. 2-2, 2 down in the inning. We'll see if Ramsey can get on second by the time this is over. Strike 3 called. Woodward goes down looking, and that ends the inning. Tigers still up 9-0 as we head to the top of the 5th in San Antonio. Welcome back to Trinity University here near downtown San Antonio, Texas. We can see behind us downtown gleaming in the distance, Tower of the Americas, where the Final Four just took place this past weekend. Jace Clay back on the mound, up 9-0 in the top of the 5th. First pitch outside, ball 1 to Christian Mikey. 0 for 1 today. Misses 2-0. Clay, so far so good in today's game. Had some struggles in the prior inning, but able to get out of it, leaving the bases loaded for Centenary. Talked to Coach Smith about Clay's recent outings and talked about the velocity increase that Clay's had. Hands out a 4-pitch leadoff walk to start this inning. But part of the Tigers offseason program, in fact, a big part of it was getting these guys to the weight room and getting them stronger. And because of that, you have a lot of guys that are just throwing a lot harder than they're used to. And what Dave Smith said is that the game just completely changes when you're throwing low 90s all of a sudden, when you were throwing mid 80s. Jace Clay going from a top of 88 to a high of 92 now. Pickoff move not in time. Is Mikey able to dive back safely? But Clay still figuring out how to tinker with his game, now that he's kind of at a different level in terms of velocity. There's that pickoff move, closer that time, but still not in time as Mikey gets back safely once again. Jebediah Gordon, the first year, up to the plate. Takes a ball high as Jace Clay has yet to throw a strike in this inning. There is some action in the bullpen. So we'll see how long the leash is, up 9. There's a strike. 1-1. As Clay would have gotten the A&M treatment, but it would have stopped. Fastball down the middle. Now a 1-1 pitch, runner on first, nobody out. We'll see if he throws to first or at home. The pitch will come, and it hits him. So the 8 and the 9 hitters for Centenary reach, and now it's the top of the order. 2 on, nobody out.
That's another tough start for Jace. A walk, a hit by pitch. It's self-inflicted wounds right now. On the bright side, you've got a double play opportunity. You need to get these guys to start swinging to even have that on the table.
Gage Morris, the pinch hitter, coming up for the first time today. An opportunity for the Gents. Morris takes strike 1. Morris, a .256 hitter on the year. He's hitless in his last 4 games, trying to change that in this at-bat. Pitch in the dirt, but a good job by Writing to keep it in front of him. No movement on the base pass, and you wonder how long till we see a visit or a change.
Now the goal usually is to go at least 5 or 6 innings is what they look for from their starters.
Way high. Writing has to jump out of his seat and get it. Now 2-2. Dave Smith coming out to the plate, and you would assume Jace Clay coming off the mound with him. As we'll have a pitching change here in San Antonio. Runners on first and second. A 2-1 count when we come back. 9-0. The Tigers have the lead. Well, I promised I'd never lie to you, and I just broke that promise. It looks like Jace Clay is going to stay right on the mound where he is. Whoever was warming up seems to be ready to go, but Dave Smith rolling with his starter. Now on a 2-1 count. And I know what people at home are thinking. Why would you pull the batter mid-count? Well, if you've watched Trinity Tiger games in the past, you know that they do that. Pitch outside, 3-1. So Clay in danger of loading the bases for the second time in 2 innings, this time with nobody out. Hard to get back in the game from 9-0, but if you're going to do it, you think it has to be now if you're Centenary. Ground ball right to Clay. Throws to second for 1. On to first in time. Talk about fielding your position. How about that? The 1-6-3 double play.
Yeah, just nice flash of the leather. He takes 2 outs. Doesn't try to get extravagant and go for 3. And he might find himself getting out of this inning.
Clay Menard up to the plate. Walked the last time he was up. Outside of that, he's 0 for 1. Takes a strike on the outside edge. It looked like Clay might have had a shot at 3. I don't know if they would have gotten the triple play, but I think he could have gone to third. Probably wise to just do what he did, though. Would have been fun. Pitch misses. Count 1-1. As we see the Clays battle for the 3rd time today. This is the rubber match. Menard flew out in the first inning. Walked in the last one. This is a chopper. The glove of Tinker. Throw across the diamond in time. And they're all fired up after that. The defense from Trinity getting out of the jam. We're halfway through this one. It's 9-0 Tigers as we head to the bottom of the 5th on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City. We're halfway through this one. Bottom of the 5th. Maddox McDonald will lead things off for the Tigers. 1 for 2 today. Takes a pitch outside. Tigers hoping that this will not be halfway through and that they can end this one a little quicker than we may have thought. Up 9-0 right now. Another run would get them to the magic number 10 to cut this one short. Strike called. Count 1-1.
My laptop would certainly appreciate this being a short game.
Ooh, how much you got?
It has been a long game today.
Fouled off the end of the bat into the screen. What's your power situation?
It's like we got under an hour.
Under an hour. Ooh, I don't know. Does it actually have the time on there? It tells you how long it's going to stay alive? This is chopped to second. Menard throws to first. Close play. But they call him out. McDonald diving head first in a 9-0 game.
That was a smooth slide from Maddox McDonald to try and be safe, but they get the out, what you want. And yeah, Cole, my laptop gives me an estimate on when it's about to go kaput.
Nick Lazera up to the plate. 1 for 3. He struck out twice. Big swing and a miss there. 0-1. See, my phone will always tell me that it has 5% left, and then it'll just stop working all of a sudden. Kind of the opposite of your laptop. The 0-1 misses away, and it's 1-1. Of course, Centenary and Trinity have had so many good battles in recent years, but the most recent one in the SCAC tournament. Breaking ball misses in the dirt, 2-1. Centenary walking off Trinity. They actually had a pretty sizable lead in that game, but Nick Lazera, I believe it was a 3-run homer to bring the Tigers back in that one. They forced extra innings, and then Centenary walks them off. This is hit sky high into shallow right field. Calling and making the good catch is Paulson. Menard called for it. He was there. He wasn't going to get it, though. Paulson backing him up, makes the catch instead.
Yeah, that one was hit very, very high, which makes who's going to get it a bit tough to determine. But Paulson, he makes that catch. He's been having a great day out in right field defensively.
Nicholas Jones up to the plate. 1 for 3 today. And there's the wind for the first time. Congratulations, Reed. You summoned it. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
That's a nice win, though. It's not a brutal McMurray level win.
We've seen a lot of that. I don't know. The big wind has to start with the baby wind, I think. Let's see if it grows up or not. Pitch outside, ball 1. You talk about that SCAC tournament game, and you talked about the road that Centenary had to take. They were out of the losers bracket. They beat Trinity, and then they had to go beat TLU. They had to do it twice. Able to do that and win the conference for the second time in 3 years. And they beat Trinity in each of those 2 years to do it. 2022, they beat that team that went to the College World Series, unexpectedly taking the SCAC title, and they beat them in the championship game to do it. Two-one pitch finds the zone, count even at 2 apiece.
It's going to be interesting this year, Cole, with no more 2-team regionals for the NCAA tournament.
Fouled off the end of the bat of Jones. Will do it again.
It'll be interesting to see how the committee sets teams where, when both Trinity and Centenary made it back when that Trinity team made it to the World Series. They were both in a 2-team regional. Last year, Centenary was in a 4-team over in Marshall.
Pitch inside, the count runs full. Full count, 2 outs, nobody on. Tigers offense has run a little dry here in these last few innings, scoring 7 runs in the second, 2 in the third, and nothing since then. So we're in the bottom of the 5th. Fouled off, will do it again. But it's weird seeing Centenary in this type of position where they're hanging on for dear life, normally securely in that conference tournament, but obviously the conference expanding, the playoffs not. And Concordia and McMurray, both really good teams. Big swing and a miss from Nick Jones. And a strikeout will end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Tigers. We'll head to the top of the 6th in San Antonio. You're watching the Tiger Network. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. Alex Miller, the sophomore from Cypress, Texas, will lead things off. Facing Jace Clay, who's in his 6th inning of work. Misses with his first pitch, ball 1. It's been a little shaky from Clay these last 2 innings, but some dazzling defense from the Tigers to get him out of the last one. Pitch just misses at 84. Alex Miller, you would pretty easily say is Centenary's best hitter and has been for the last couple of years. Ever since he entered the program, was the first year of the year, last year in the SCAC. And a big reason why Centenary was able to win the conference and advance to the NCAA playoffs. 3-0 pitch. Catches the inside part of the zone. Strike called. And talked to Coach Mike Diaz about Alex Miller, and he said he's just one of those guys that's just constantly improving. He's never satisfied with where he is. Always trying to get better as he ropes one into right field. It'll find the gap and get all the way to the wall. Woodward gets it off the wall and throws him in. But Alex Miller has a lead-off double for Centenary.
Exactly what you want from the kid, Cole. He already had a hit earlier in the game. He gets another extra base hit this time around. He's drawn 12 walks. He's only struck out 12 times. He's just such a talented bat.
Miller collects his second hit of the game. And you wonder if this time there will be pitching change. I'm pretty confident there will be. There's somebody walking out this time. Not lying, I swear. That'll be the day for Jace Clay. As he pitches 5 strong innings, still no runs on the board. He'll hand it off to the bullpen as we'll be back on Tiger Network. Welcome back to San Antonio. A new pitcher in the game for the Tigers. It's Sam Rickman. Comes in with a record of 0-1, ERA above 7, an opportunity to lower that in this outing. As he faces the right fielder, Noah Paulson. Paulson with a pretty nice catch in the prior inning. Now trying to make an impact with the bat. Takes a pitch low. Count runs 2-0.
Still think Paulson got done a bit dirty, being called for dropping the first fly ball he saw.
Strike called, 2-1.
I'm part of the Paulson caught the first fly ball truther association.
Do we need to come up with a better name for that?
Called the PTA.
Might be taken. I don't know, you should Google that one. 3-1 pitch from Rickman. This is hit in the air to shallow right field. McDonald coming in, and he makes the catch. 1 down in the inning. Nice range from Maddox McDonald in right.
Yeah, all of those fielders in the outfield have excellent range. McDonald showcases it there. It all starts with a good jump off the bat, and McDonald is very good at getting those good jumps.
So Rickman gets the first batter he sees. Now some more work to do with only 1 down in the inning. Pitch misses away. Ball 1 to Trip Villanueva. Big swing and a miss. Count 1-1. Nice slider from Rickman. Rickman in his last appearance pitched 3 innings and change against the University of Mary Hardin-Baylor. 4 strikeouts, a walk, 3 runs allowed, only 2 of them earned. He took the loss in that game. Swing and a miss, 1-2. But Rickman, one of these guys the Tigers hoping develops and somewhat emerged and can pitch in situations like this when they're up big. Save some of their more high leverage arms. The 1-2. This is chopped to short. The first year Ramsey makes the throw in time. He's been good over there today, and he records out number 2.
Now, Ramsey just fields his position perfectly on this play. It's just how you expect your shortstop to field the ball. And you're absolutely right, Cole, because when you get into that regional, you're going to be seeing some arms you don't normally see, so you want them to develop as fast as possible.
Swing and a miss from Brody Hebert. First year, a native of Louisiana. Facing Sam Rickman for the first time. Grounds it to third. Tinker, strong throw in time. And Rickman retires all 3 gents that he sees. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th in San Antonio. Tigers trying to get that magical 10th run. Welcome back to San Antonio, Texas. You see the Trinity Tigers' upcoming schedule on your screen. 2 more games against Centenary. Those will both be tomorrow. First pitch at 1 p.m. and then second first pitch estimated to be at 4 in that doubleheader. They'll be at UMHB on April 15th, a Tuesday game. And then the series against St. Thomas. And then Southwestern as that pitch rides inside on Baker. Baker hits Baker. And Baker's on first.
Baker on Baker violence, Cole. You hate to see it.
Well, I was ready to declare it a bake-off, but it didn't last that long. Somebody didn't stir the dough right. I don't know if you can tell that I don't bake by that sentence or not, but take for that what you will. Kai Tinker comes up to the plate. 2 for 3 today. He singled, doubled, and he flew out to right the last time he was up. A .325 hitter on the year in his 5th year with the Tigers, and he gets hit as well. So back-to-back hit by pitches in 2 pitches.
Well, if you're the Tigers right now, it's gonna feel really bad if you can't bring at least one of these guys home. Runner on second, no outs.
And that might be the day for Zach Baker. It looks like it will be. He's turned in some quality innings for Centenary to this point, but his day will be done as he throws 2 pitches in the inning. Both of them hit the batters. 2 of them in a row, respectively. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Trinity up 9-0. Runners on first and second as we'll take a break on Tiger Network. Welcome back to the Alamo City. New pitcher in for Centenary. It's Will Riley. Comes in with an ERA of 12. Last appearance, March 21st against Concordia. Pitched .2 innings. Did not allow a hit. Did not allow an earned run. He'll face Calcone. Fires a breaking ball for a strike, and that breaks up the streak of hit by pitch. It's back-to-back pitches. That streak no longer in existence, thankfully for both Centenary and Trinity, you would think, as the Tigers would like to reach in other ways. That pitch a close call, but Ben's close to the strike zone, not close enough. 1-1 is the count.
The bottom part of the order for the Tigers has been maybe not necessarily surprisingly productive, but happily productive.
Third consecutive slider thrown by Will Riley. This one misses high, 2-1.
I think it's really easy for a batter in this situation to catch their eyes on a slider that maybe hangs too high. You got to really focus not to get under it.
76 miles per hour on that pitch. It misses, 3-1. Danger of walking the bases loaded with nobody out. Trinity already a couple of bases loaded opportunities in this game, and they've cashed in on them. That's ball 4, a 5-pitch walk with nobody out, and the bases are filled with Tigers.
Yeah, not the best way for the Gents to set the table for themselves. But with riding up at the plate, we'll see if he can clear it, get that 10th run in.
Now this is about as good of an opportunity as you're going to get. Matthias riding up to the plate. An unfortunate ground out for him last time. Takes a slider away. Ball 1. Tapped it fair. Didn't go more than 2 or 3 feet in front of home plate. But unfortunately for him, he was thrown out by Mikey the catcher. Strike called. Now 1-1. We'll see how Centenary battles back in tomorrow's 2 games with their season on the line. Need a lot of things to go right, including just winning in general. Pitch high, 2-1. Coach Scannell this week describing Centenary as a thorn in their sides, and they really have been for the last several years, taking 2 out of the last 3 SCAC titles when the Tigers were, if not the regular season winners, at least favorites. This could be 2. Throw to first will not be made. And the 10th run will come in. It's an RBI ground out for Matthias Riding.
Get that 10th run in. It's exactly what Riding wanted to do. Maybe gets a bit lucky that a double play wasn't made there. Thrown just not made over to first. Yeah, now Tigers have this in run rule territory.
So 6-4 on the force out. Chalk it up as an RBI for Matthias Riding. Now 10-0 Tigers. If they can hang on to this, will be done in 7. Pitch inside to John Ramsey, and this is an important at-bat for Reed Rosales, who's standing right next to me. Ramsey with 3 walks, 1 coming in the 2nd, 1 coming in the 3rd, 1 coming in the 4th. Trying to get 1 in the 6th. Strike called.
This is, you know, for me, arguably the most important plate appearance of the night for Ramsey.
He's already walked 3 times. Now in a 1-1 count, runners at the corners. Ball high, and he's halfway there, 2-1. Of course, there are runners at the corners, 1 out, but Reed doesn't care about any of that. All that matters is what's happening at home plate and what's happening on the mound. Ramsey ahead, 2-1, 3-1. Can he join the list of Nick Jones, Caleb Woodward, and probably a couple of other people, to be honest, that I'm forgetting? Those are the 2 that I remember off the top of my head.
It's an illustrious list to be on.
What an achievement this could be for the first year. But he swings. Ooh, not what you want to do if you're trying to work a walk. Fouled off, count full, 3-2. Coming down to the end.
I'm really hoping Riley gives him something away.
Ball 4. And John Ramsey can add himself to the list. 4 walks. It loads the bases, but as we said before, Reed doesn't care about that. 4 consecutive base on balls.
The jaywalker has been accomplished, Cole. And makes me sad almost that we're not going to be playing 2 more innings and he can't come up again.
Well, we might. You never know. Centenary scores a run. Who knows? Maybe that's where Reed's interests lie. We'll see if this is a pitching change or not, and it looks like it will be. Will Riley's day is done. He leaves with the bases loaded and 1 out. Trinity up 10-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University. A new pitcher on for the Gentlemen. It's Zachary Malone. Comes in with an ERA of 9, 4 walks, no strikeouts, 5 innings pitched, a whip of 3. He'll have an opportunity to improve those numbers in a bases loaded situation facing the top of the Tigers lineup in Caleb Woodward. Strike called. Fastball down the middle. For those of you just joining us, John Ramsey just walked for his 4th time in the game, making my partner Reed Rosales very, very happy.
It's like Christmas all over again.
The 0-1. Strike called outside. All right, 0-2. Bases loaded, 1 down. Ball high, and it's 1-2. The 1-2 to Woodward. High, ball 2. Trinity trying to extend this lead, and if it isn't already out of reach, put it away further. As of now, they only need 3 more outs after this.
You don't want to lose Woodward after having him down. 0-2.
2-2. Big swing, and that's a strikeout. No point in advancing the first. That base is taken. So Woodward will just walk back to the dugout. He is out number 2.
Just try to keep things rolling. We're at a point in the game where the Tigers, they've just kind of controlled it the entire time. But if you're the Gents, you need to keep it at the score. Getting 1 run, much easier to attain than getting 2 or 3.
Maddox McDonald comes up to the plate, 1 for 3 today. Takes a fastball high, 83 on that one, I think is what the radar said. Maddox McDonald's 1 hit, a base hit in the 3rd. It's also reached by way of the hit by pitch. Tigers doing all of this, scoring a run and have the bases loaded currently. They have not recorded a hit in this inning. That gets away, but not enough for the run to come home from 3rd. The sequence has gone hit by pitch, walk, ground out, walk, strikeout. So no hits. Bases still loaded for Trinity with 2 down. McDonald ahead 2-0. Remaining in this game despite the 10-0 score. See, launches one deep to center field. Back at the warning track, at the wall, and it's off the base of it. 1 run is in. Another comes home to score. A bases clearing double for Maddox McDonald. And the Tigers are pouring it on. Lucky number 13 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, McDonald teed off on that one. It kept carrying. Maybe if it were a windier day out here, it would have carried out. I thought I had to pause for a moment because it just kept drifting. And now the Tigers, they haven't put this one away already. It's kind of seeming much more likely now.
Now 13-0 Trinity as they're pouring it on to Centenary. Nick Lazera up to the plate. Despite the offensive success, he hasn't had the best day at the plate. 1 for 4, a base hit, and 2 strikeouts. Ball gets away, and it will be a balk, so McDonald will take his free 90. He's at 3rd.
It just slipped out of his hands, Cole. It's about all to it. It's just one of those unfortunate things that happens sometimes.
So now the 14th run on 3rd base. See if Lazera can drive it in with 2 outs. Pitch high, 2-0. Again, surprised that some of these guys are still remaining in this game. And we've known Tim Scannell to be very aggressive in how he pulls his guys, either when they're losing by this much or winning. Maybe a situation where they wanted to get that 10th run and get out of here a little earlier. But even with 2 outs, up 13-0, arguably your best hitter still coming up to the plate. Takes a fastball high, 2-0.
I know some people might be thinking, oh, why are you pouring it on with all your starters? I think it's a really big sign of respect that this team has for Centenary, that they are keeping everybody in and playing to their full extent.
Chopper to 2nd. Menard all the way into the outfield grass, but he makes the throw anyways, and that will end the inning. But a 4 spot put up by the Tigers. They only need 3 outs, up 13-0 in San Antonio.
Welch's fruit.
Welcome back to the campus of Trinity University here at the Trinity University Ballpark. Sam Rickman still on the mound for the Tigers. Trying to put this one away, and it's a high drive to deep left field, back at the wall, and it's off the wall. Racing in for second and in safely. Aaron Gillum, a leadoff wall ball double.
That was a nice strike out in the left. You'll see it here. Just catches the breaking ball, heading into not quite the sweet spot, but he still gave it a ride. And then welcome to the gun show as Nick Jones just shows off his arm. That was a little bit more on line. Might have been a play at second base.
He made it close. Definitely interesting, but Gillum still at second. Christian Mikey, now the batter, 0 for 1 today. Walked the last time he was up. He's been the catcher for this entire game. Rickman fires a strike, now 2-1. Rickman with some room to work with. Trying not to allow 4 runs is essentially the mission. Get these 3 outs and get out of here in the 7th. This is roped into center field and it falls for a base hit. Gillum coming around and he will score. Mikey slides into second. And it's the first run of the day for the Gents, 13-1.
Went golfing for that one. Gets a birdie. Or maybe a bogey because they're up by 1. But either way, that's what you want out of the bats if you're Centenary. Just keep it rolling.
Should go down as a single for Mikey, and his day is done. He will be pinch ran for. Andrew Landry coming into the game, the junior from Gonzales, Louisiana. Entering his 18th game, commonly used for pinch running purposes. Jebediah Gordon, the 9-hole hitter, up to the plate. Still nobody down in the inning. You must be pretty conflicted here, Reed.
I am very conflicted.
First pitch from Rickman is a strike.
And because, as we all know, Tigers do get another chance at the plate. Just another opportunity that we can get it to John Ramsey to break a school record.
And another interesting point by the home plate umpire. Looks like we're going down the business as usual. Pointing at something. Sending some kind of message to Rickman. Delivers the pitch, 0-1. It's a chopper to third. Tinker comes into the infield grass. Makes the throw in time. They throw to third. And the play can't be made. Nice base running by Andrew Landry. Able to take the extra 90. 1 down in the inning.
Everyone does their job there. You advance the runner. Trinity gets the out. First out of the inning. If you're Centenary, you are still not out of the woods yet in terms of getting this out of run rule territory.
So the lineup will flip over. Gage Morris comes up to the plate. Takes a pitch inside. Ball 1. 1 down in the inning. Second run in the inning for Centenary, 90 feet away. Morris, a .256 hitter on the year. Trying to improve that here. Pitch away, 2-0. Rickman struggling a little bit with some command here in this frame. Tigers have only scored runs in 3 innings. It was a 7-run bottom of the second that did most of the damage, a 2-run bottom of the third, and a 4-run bottom of the 6th. Strike call. The slider bends back into the zone, and it's 2-2.
And they're kind of seeing a lower velo of Rickman's pitches, a bit better than Jace Clay.
Just misses. And it looks like it's actually going to be 3-1.
Oh, good fastball there, 87.
There's a strike, brings the count full. Countdown count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. trying to bring in the runner at third. The 3-2 way inside gets away, but a friendly bounce from the backstop will hold the runner at third. Puts him at the corners with one down in the inning.
A bit of a wild thing throw from Rickman there. Double play is on the table if you're the Tigers. Just need to get that weak contact out of whichever bat you can get weak contact out of. Rickman struggling a little bit. I'm sure this is going to be his game to close out. But they do have some action in the bullpen.
Clay Menard, the batter for Centenary, takes the ball high. Menard 0 for 2 today. He's walked as well. The junior from Berwick, Louisiana, takes a strike.
We are in the great unknown now, Cole. My laptop has stopped giving me times for how long it is going to stay alive.
Does that mean it's almost at 0?
It's at 16.
Huh. Slider misses up, 2-1.
As it was put in Monty Python, it got better. Got better.
Runners at the corners. Pitch misses, and it's 3-1. In danger of loading the bases, and you would assume that that would warrant a visit from Dave Smith. I don't think he wants to sit around for an extra inning. Runner goes, and he'll get there easily. Strike called, and no throw to second. So a stolen base for Centenary. Already halfway there by the time Rickman threw that ball. Goes down as a stolen base for Gage Morris. The 3-1 pitch is lifted into the air, into left field. Jones makes the catch. Runner tagging from third. Play at the plate, not in time. And it's the second run for Centenary as Andrew Landry comes in on the sac fly. 13-2, the Tigers still have the lead.
On the upside, you've got out number 2. Downside, the runner comes in. Centenary could make us play some more baseball with one swing of the bat. See if it is just but a scratch or if the arm comes off.
Pitch from Rickman. Strike called. Facing Centenary's most dangerous hitter, Alex Miller, 2 for 3 today. He's got a single and a double. One swing away for more baseball guaranteed. Hits one into left field, back at the wall. Jones makes the catch, and that will end the ball game. So Trinity, a run rule victory over Centenary, 13-2 the final.
And that last play, excellent catch by Jones out in left field. All credit to him there. And Cole, this is the type of win that the Tigers have been looking for in a game 1 for the past couple of weeks. They played really well there. Some self-inflicted wounds by the Gents for parts of this game, but Trinity, they got hits when they needed to. Maddox McDonald had a great game. Came in clutch. It was really, all around, a very impressive showing from this Tigers team.
Well, game 1s had been an issue recently in these last few weekends, dropping games 1s out of 3 to Dallas and Shriner, but not tonight. A run rule victory over Centenary, 13-2 is your final score from San Antonio. Jace Clay, the winning pitcher, and Tyler Herrera taking the loss. Well, that's it from us on the campus of Trinity University. I'd like to thank everybody working on this broadcast crew tonight, as well as our executive producer, Josh Muchagemba. For my partner, Reed Rosales, and myself, I'm Cole Isaacson saying so long from San Antonio. We'll see you tomorrow.